Hi everyone. In the last video, we identified the stakeholders who is going to work with us. Here is our team. Here is your core team, and you are working as a business analyst. Okay. So today we are going to discuss the project info. So we are simulating a real project to build a portfolio for your resume. Okay. So before we talk about tools and coding and agile, so I want you to understand how real software project actually start. Okay. So most beginners think software start with coding. That's not true. So software start with business problem and people. Okay. So in this series, we are going to build a dummy practical bank called BA Community Bank. Okay. So this is your domain training as well. So project info, let me write it down, project info. So we are going to build our BA community bank. Okay. So this bank is only for learning, but the process will follow 100% real world. Okay, so we are going to build a dummy bank for practice. And I'll add more product to this one, like credit card, debit card, customer onboarding, loans, and everything. But this just pure code practice only. Okay. So first understand what we are building. So what are we building? So what are we building? What is our first product? So what is our first product? Hope this is visible for you. So let me make it a little big. So our first product is customer registration. So you go to a meeting, like you go to your work, and you will hear us in the Scrum Master or the product owner talking, saying that like, hey guys, we have a meeting today. We are going to start a new project, right? So how the product owner heard this one? The business owner first they will reach out to product owners to build the new digital product. Okay, so building digital product means current business process is manual or partially digitalized, and the business owner want to add more functionality to make the business process easy. So they can talk to product owner. They have a meeting initially, so you might not involve. Sometimes Scrum Masters are involved. So basically, the first starting point, business owners. This is the business owners, project managers. They work with product owner, and product owner will categorize or prioritize which project team has to work. Okay, so the product owner will involve business analyst and say that, hey, Jay, we are going to start a new project. I'm going to forward you some documentation which I received from business stakeholders. Can you take a look when you have time, right? Or I'm going to provide you a Confluence page. So we had few conversations regarding example this project. So this is the right time to start the requirement gathering. So why they didn't include you as a business analyst? So previously they were talking like budget, right? Like resources, like timeline and everything. So those discussions, you are not involved. because they are talking about the project high level. Okay, so they talk to product owner. So once the actual requirement discussion start, the product owner will add you the call. So from there, you can lead the call. Okay, so let's assume the previous conversation, everything is happened between business stakeholders and the product owner. Okay, so these are happened. Now, product owner is involving you in the project. Okay, so that's the scenario. So you all, everyone is in the same call. So this usually you will have a kickoff meeting, right? Like they'll tell. So we all, these people all knows what is the project is. So first time they're adding you to the call. Sometime they might add the tech lead also to the project. Uh, so you and tech lead now they're involving in the requirement gathering phase. Okay, so they'll tell, hey, we already discussed the project. So to bring Jay and let's say our product tech lead is John, to bring to up to speed, let's have a kickoff meeting, right? So the kickoff meeting is the first meeting you'll attend, and they will go through the project detail. Like sometimes it can be if there is project manager involved, like detailed BRD, so which you have not written, maybe someone might have written, or if there is no BRD, and project manager or like the business owner, they have some documentation, how the project is going to be. Or like if there's no documentation, they will just speak, this is what we need. Okay. So it doesn't matter how it's if it is written or like not written verbally, it doesn't matter. You should be able to understand what they're talking. So this is where your domain experience should come. Even this is your press project, but you have to know what they are talking about. I'm not expecting you should know uh, the functionalities. What I'm meant, you should know like software management, like software development or STLC, project management. Those stuff you should know what they're talking about. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's assume we are all in the same call. Owners are talking to us, stakeholders are talking to us. They're telling us this is what we need from you guys to build. So your team is uh, these people, right? So accept this one. So you have product owner, you, business analyst, scrum master, tech lead, and developers and testers. So these 7 people are your team, your IT team. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to make it little big so you can see what I'm writing. So what is our first product? First, we will start with customer registration. So any application, we want to get new customers. So this is the first product. So it doesn't matter. You're going to work in healthcare project. You are going to work in banking project, OHR project, anything fine. Start with customer onboarding. You can tell onboarding or customer registration. Second one, once you register the customer, so we will have to let the customer log in, right? Existing customer. So customer login using card number and password. So since we are building the bank, so we are using the card, mean like debit card number and password. So other cases, other domain, they can use the username. Most probably they have username, PIN, or whatever. But main concept is first customer registration, which is onboarding, and second one customer login after registered. So these two flows are exist for any website, any app, any mobile app. Okay, so if you can master this one, if you can learn properly these two flows, you are good to go. Like you have two sample projects to add in your resume. Okay, and you can add it to your GitHub page or LinkedIn to show the recruiters. Okay, so you don't need 20-30 projects. Just understand. You can pivot. You can use this customer registration and onboarding for any of the domain. Okay, so now that's it. This is what only the business owners told us. Okay, so this is what we need. So what do you do next? So next, even though we know this is a customer registration, so you are not going to provide any solution. So there are solution architect and UX design team. So here on this call, you are not going to provide any solution. So simple. Your next step, even though you understood this customer registration, so you want to know what their expectation, what's happening today, right? Um, so first you need to understand process, not get lost in complexity, right? Like they are going to talk more detail. Business stakeholders are going to talk more detail. So you have to understand what is the process today, like how this happened. Okay. So this is phase one for you. More bank products will be added later. So we can add more product later. So we are just building the skeleton. We are trying to accept customers. Okay. So who are you in this project? So what do you do in this project? Okay. So you are the business analyst. I am going to be the product owner and the business owner. So I'll be the one to provide you requirement. Okay. So I will tell you as a stakeholder what problem to solve, why it is needed, what success looks like. So my job is to explain what I want, now how to build. So as a business analyst, if you are following this video, so you have to do, I will tell you what BA has to do. You have to do those jobs. Okay. And also, if you have any question like why so many roles exist, let's take a look what other people is going to do. Okay, so we have so many people, closer to 6, 10. Here we have 5, 15, almost 15 people are on the project. Okay, so because one person cannot deliver, do everything safely, right? Especially in banking. So bank involves money, data, privacy, legal rules. So work is divided across roles. That's very important, right? So one person, developer or tech lead, BA cannot handle. So that's why so many people are involved this one. So the product owner in this project, product owner is going to be owns the product backlog, right? So they decide what we build first and they accept, reject, and complete work. We discussed this one. And you as a business analyst translates business ideas into clear requirements. So you are going to write user stories and acceptance criteria. Everyone understand the same requirement, right? The main tagline here for you, you remove confusion because these people have some understanding. And when you bring to the team, we should not lose the requirement, right? When you work, right? So that's your main role. Okay, product owner also will rely on you. So next one, we can, once you get the requirement and you work with UX design team. So the architect design the big picture, these people. So they decide how systems talk to each other. A solution architect, they think about security and scalability. So the UX design team, how screens look and flow. They focus on ease of use. They don't decide business rules. So this solution architect decide how do I build a scalable, robust platform, right? Should I build on cloud or should I build on this platform? Like these all decide by the solution architect. So everyone is working. So you are working on requirement and solution architect on working infrastructure, the platform, and US team is working on the screens. Okay. So what tech lead is working on this project? The tech lead guide developers, right? So we both went to the same meeting. I heard the same thing, these two requirement, and tech lead also heard the same thing, right? So now tech lead, um, what define user story? They don't decide requirements. So I write the user stories here, and tech lead work with me. Like we um, tech lead provide clarification for developer. Okay, you build this method, you implement this class, you create this microservice, you implement this API. These are the method you have to, this is the XML you have to use. So developers will go, these uh, three people talk each other and to deliver the functionality what we captured on the user stories. Okay, so now the next, our QA engineer. So QA test the system. They find defects before customer do. They ensure the quality. So the QA protects production. So these two requirements, it sounds like very simple, which is not very complex project. This one. I break into the user stories and tech lead explain to the developer. Now QA is the last person to make sure whatever we build, it's working as expected. So QA do the testing. So where is Scrum Master, right? So Scrum Master, what does a Scrum Master do? Scrum Master manage all the agile process. So when I get more understanding working with SA and the US design team, I know like how many user stories I need to create, and product owner will give, okay, looks like after design, we know, okay, it's a huge project and we have to complete within 6 months. Okay. And we have the first deployment is after 2 months. Okay. So we set the skeleton. We go to the production with 2 months. Okay. So that's we get the deployment date here, release date. Based on that, we do the reverse engineering for that particular deployment. Deployment means release, right? Like we build and test and say, give to customer to use, right? So that's based on the release date. And I'll come up with the user story, how many user story required for this phase, right? The next phase or the previous first MVP, second MVP, third MVP. So Scrum Master manage all the agile process, right? They run sprint meeting. They remove blockers for the team. So let's say I divided the user story for the first release. Okay, let's assume for the April build. So I have user stories, and we have two sprints. So for 1 month we have two sprints, right? So 2 weeks is one sprint. So 10 business days. So Scrum Master know how many people are working and one QA is working, how many user stories are there. We plan it and we pull into sprints. So Scrum Master making sure. So developer saying, I am waiting for the database team to implement this one. I'm waiting for the connectivity. I'm waiting for the platform team to implement this one connected if there is any common resource. So immediately Scrum Master will jump in and give a friendly nudge and send a reminder and remove those blockers and get things going. Okay, so that's the main role of a Scrum Master. So now let's understand what the DevOps engineers are doing here. So DevOps engineers manage deployment. They move code across environment. They ensure scalability. So developer, based on the build, developer will have a branch. Branch mean like, let's say, how can I explain? Okay, so this is your main software, main application. Okay, so let's say this is your main. This is what customers are using. Okay, so this is your main customers using. So now when you want to add this customer registration login, you are not touching this one. So this is you're not touching. Let's say you want to make a development you have an office. You want to add one more room for waiting room for your business, right? And you don't disturb the main working operation, right? So you will cover this area, you will build separately, right? You build and you paint and you give electricity, decorate. Then once everything tested and you remove this blocker, you add this portion to the main one. Same in software development also. You don't touch the main production environment, we call as environment. You have multiple environment, TQA environment, testing environment. So environment 1, environment 2, environment 3. So based on the release deployment, so developer know which branch they have to use. They will develop their code here, like the room example I told. They will develop. So once they develop and they will raise a PR, pull request, and tech lead will review. And so we ask help of DevOps to merge this one. Okay, so this will go to software testing environments, right? So the first the developer is building on his computer, right? His computer is building on his computer. Now he has to merge to the testing environment. So these things DevOps can take care. DevOps, the person, they talk and they will merge to the testing environment. Once the testing environment go, then it's merged to the UAT environment. So it's go to UAT production ready environment. Then finally it's go to the main environment. So these things managed by the DevOps engineers. Okay. So next one, release manager, development manager, we can call. So this role control production releases. They ensure approval are taken. They manage release windows and rollback plans. So the release manager main job is they check whether the TQA testers have provided sign off, right? So tester will test separately all the functionality here. 1, 2, 3, like whatever the user story. Finally, they have to do a regression testing. So regression testing means, let's say you add customer registration first, and second you are adding existing login, right? So you already tested and sign up, but before it goes to release, he will have to test both registration and customer login to make sure by adding the login, the registration is not broken. So that's the regression testing. Make sure the existing functionalities are working. So before release, the tester again have to do a regression testing and how to provide a sign up. So, and also some functionality like business owners also have to give a sign up. Okay, so we know this one, this is going no risk and everything is taken care, documented, communicated, and also there is a rollback plan. Mean like if anything goes wrong, like how we revert to the original version, right? Like by introducing, sometime it might introduce some other complex problems, right? So always should have a rollback plan. So this release manager make sure those things. Okay, all the necessary paperwork is signed, all the TQAs are signed, regression is tested, and some other papers have application or papers has to fill up by product owner, like security paper, like other documents have to fill up, everything signed and approved by the business owners before this product go live, right? So this is the person send you email, this is not sign up, I don't see this approval, everything. So that's a release manager's job. Okay, so legal and compliance, like they provide valuable feedback. Regulation related rules and regulation are followed. They protect the bank from risks. So that's legal. So we have to take the legal advice too. So your back office, we discussed, they validate real banking operation. They confirm the system works in daily bank usage. So we can ask to help us in the UAT with the tester from this business back office agent. Okay. So if you notice something important, no role work alone. No role is more important than others. Software delivery is a team sport. So if one role is skipped, the project becomes risky, right? So everyone is involved, or whoever in this board, everyone is involved. Okay. So in the next videos, we will convert business idea into user stories, so agile ceremonies and development, testing, DevOps, and releases. Move code to dev to prod like a real bank. Okay. So by end of this series, you will understand how real IT project actually work, even if you never wrote code before. Okay. And you never work as a BA. So this will help to build your portfolio. Okay. Thank you guys. I will see you guys in next video.